Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Wrestling Fans Insight Sunday Takedown. I'm your host, John Hoppe, joined by my two co-hosts, William. How you doing?
I'm doing a lot better. Apologies for last weekend. I'm pretty sure
You took it off.
I was pretty sure that my blood pressure was off. I just woke up not feeling okay. And then luckily I made it this time because Friday before work, I stopped by a gas station, picked up a chimichanga, and it took my ass out.
Good hell, what was in that chimichanga?
I don't know, but it's not happening again.
Was it like spicy or something?
No, it's just a typical beef and bean chimney.
Oh, Jesus.
Was it from a 7-Eleven?
Yes, it was.
That's
what kind of scares me is how Carlos would know that right away.
I ended up downing, Pedialyte for the last couple of nights.
Yeah, Jesus, that's a rough night. But we also have Carlos with us. How you doing, brother?
good. I'm excited to be back after what has it been 2 weeks off, I think. So, yeah, I'm excited to talk some wrestling.
Well, first off, don't ever do that fucking shit again. Just kidding.
Oh, you haven't have you pick up my slack for once? I'm sorry, my bad.
But no, I want to send a big shout out to Bryan for stepping up and helping out too, because one, I wasn't really a whole lot prepared for that very last episode. We were both pretty drained, had all sorts
it showed. It showed in the effort. I'm just fucking.
Yeah, it really did. I mean, normally we have a bigger crowd, but I think part of it was one, everybody's still recouping from the holiday. But and speaking of the holiday, how was it for you, bro?
That was a blast. I mean, it's I haven't hid, like, I talked about before, like my struggles with addiction and stuff like that. And I have, I'm over 2 years clean now, which is awesome. But it was good for me because I think, like, when you're dealing with addiction and stuff like that, you think sometimes your family, that they won't forgive you, they hate you. And so for me, it was like, and I've been given grace so many times, it's ridiculous. But it was just really good to go and be with my extended family loves me, but just be with my other family. Cause I work holidays anyways, cause I'm a gay single man and I'd rather have people who have kids work. But like, I've been just kind of avoiding things just because, in case somebody's upset with me still or whatever, I don't want them to feel, I don't want to ruin someone's good time. So it was just good to me to like let go of that bullshit and go and have a good time with my family. And I had a blast, man. It was really good. And it was nice to celebrate my grandma. It was just, we had a really, really good time. It was really, really fun. I'm really, really grateful it all worked out. And again, it was God's work. If you ask me, it was meant to be, because it just helped me let go of a lot of things and just see that, we deserve the grace that we're given, man. So it was good stuff.
Oh, awesome. We haven't talked to you since before the holiday, and we have dearly missed you. And all kidding aside, we've been trying to see if we could even hold up a quarter of what you normally do for your shows, and it definitely showed. We suck.
But at the same time, that, like, the thing is like, and the thing that I want people to realize is like, like, we are a team, and the thing is, like, having John there just to, like, if John's there with me, just to have my back, because he knows the more technical side of things. Brian's really good with interviews, like Brian, and me and Brian were called the Hype and Daddy set for a reason, but like, we just have a natural chemistry when we talk to where, like, we could not have something planned and we'll just feed off each other. And then William, I love William's passion. I love that he follows the NXT brand. Heather when she was with us, would bring up women's point of view. But we are a true team, and the thing is, like, I'm blessed to have it easy, to have a lighter schedule, to where I can watch wrestling. I don't go out clubbing. I don't go to parties. I don't really socialize with a lot of people because, again, it's just where I'm at. I just try to keep to myself. I put myself out there on X, to help people and stuff like that. But I mean, I'm fortunate enough to where I have the time to watch a lot of wrestling, and when you first asked me to do this, I mean, I took it seriously. And again, if I'm the one guy who can watch it all, because I only work a part-time schedule, then I want to be there to help support the team in that way, So again, we all support each other in different ways, but that's what a team is.
Most definitely. And I couldn't ask for a better group of friends to help team up with me on this project, because we've kind of gotten a little bit bigger than what we first started. So that was pretty awesome.
Exactly. And I wouldn't even be monetized if it wasn't for you, because you brought us with the Stage Up Network. And again, shout out to the Stage Up Network, and stuff like that. And again, just really challenging myself and realizing I could do this, and now it's like, I have a good following on X, and people who actually look forward to my posts, who send me thank yous in my DMs. You know, like be real. It's good for my mental health. You know, and again, anything's what you make of it. You know, and I refuse to let my social media be a negative space for me. It's a positive space for me all the way around. So.
Sorry, I kind of got a little.
Yeah, you went brain dead. It's okay.
I went brain dead because I just noticed Carlos in the space, but where's your blue check mark, dude? What the hell?
Is it not there?
I don't see it unless something. Did you change your name or anything? Or oh, you know what? I think it's because you added your heart emoji and the peace sign.
Yeah, and I took out the Ukrainian flag because I just if people want to know my political stuff, but that's something I realized too is I don't want, as long as you're being respectful, I don't want to be starting any kind of, I'm off political Twitter. I wasn't really, or X, I wasn't on anyways. I mean, I used it, you know, obviously I'm a gay Hispanic male. I mean, you can probably see what side of the fence I ride with, but just because, you know, at the end of the day, you got to choose who has your most interest, but I don't want that negativity. And so, like, and again, the reason I had I'll just say here, the reason why I had a Ukrainian flag is because I don't like bullies, and I feel like what Putin was doing was bullying another country that he had power over, that he thought he could easily overtake. And my opinion was that, you know, he was being a dick about it, and so that's why I put the flag up there. People want to know, and then again, I'm like just my choice of what I want my handle to represent. You know, peace and love. You know.
Oh no. That's why I was confused. I'm like, wait a minute, Carlos had a blue check mark. Where are you going then?
But when I first changed it, the blue check mark was still there, so I don't know why it all of a sudden disappeared.
Well, normally you lose your blue check mark temporarily until they look at your account and make sure you're not being a bad monkey, and then they'll give it right back. So I've done it a few times myself. So
yeah, but as soon as I checked it, as soon as I changed it, like the blue check mark was still there. So I'm kind of shocked that they finally took it away or whatever.
Yeah, it'll be back in probably about a week or less time. Yeah. So I'm sure it'll be there and before we even know it. So it'd be nice if William got a blue check mark.
Nope.
No. Oh, okay. Well, hey, you hit an all-time high on the followers, so you're good.
What, 100?
No, not quite. I think he's at 70. But anyways, so going forward now that we've went off the rails for quite a bit of time there, what'd you think of this week's programming? We'll start with William.
You sure you want to start with me?
Well, that or we can start with Mr. Rainbow Goodness. I don't care.
Let's start with Rainbow Goodness.
Okay. Well, Carlos, have at it.
So just a general thought. I thought Raw was a miss. I thought with them, and we will talk about it more. I just feel like, you know, they should have left plenty of time for CM Punk to talk. And again, to me, like you wasted an hour-long commercial free on a tag team gauntlet match. It was just draining to watch. But at the same time, like I want people to know this, and that's the thing, you know, the thing that we pride ourselves on being with this podcast in this space is like we're a thing of positivity. And the way when I'm watching Raw, I'm on my phone with X, you know, and I've talked about it before, but to me, it's like the way I gouge a TV show is like, are they making me put down my phone and stop interacting? Are they actually make me want to watch this match? And for me, the Raw just was something where I was interacting on X most of the time because it just wasn't really drawing my attention. There was a couple of matches that were good. Of course, I watched Randy and Dominic. I watched the big meaty men slap a meat match. You know, but other than that, just that tag team match was draining. You wasted an hour-long commercial free on that. It just, to me, I would have had. I mean, I get they're trying to get people to watch, you know, CM Punk, but at the same time, I think Randy's enough of a draw too. I just wish he would have been given more time. You know, and again, I like this. I think if they're playing shenanigans that they did on purpose to see how he react, that's just childish. But I thought NXT was good. I like seeing my guy Eddie Thorpe in the tournament. I like the King's picks a lot. Again, I don't really like Hector and Angel losing, but maybe if that means they're going up with Santos, that's fine with me. SmackDown was a home run to me. I thought it was very entertaining. It's an easy show. The one thing I want to see them doing more is just utilizing their roster more, because it's just we're seeing the same people over and over again. And if they don't have more people, then call some more people up. And as far as AEW goes, I feel like they're getting back to basics with this tournament. I think we can talk about it later, but I wish they would have had different people in the tournament just to kind of keep some storylines going. But I think AEW is on a roll right now, and I think they're really getting back to what made them a strong brand in the first place.
Yeah. So I'm almost on the other side of the fence with this. I found WWE, all the programming, except for a little bit of SmackDown, to be pretty dormant. I mean, it was some solid showing, but just nothing was too exciting to me except for Randy Orton. As far as AEW, I kind of found myself a little bit bored with this tournament that's going on because I think we're just spending way too much time on it. And so we're basically just seeing the same wrestlers over and over and over again. And we've talked about that. And I mean, it's great to see them, but we could have cut that in half.
What do you mean by cutting it in half?
We didn't need that many competitors in the tournament.
But this is kind of a different.
It's off in New Japan, yeah.
Yeah, this is a little different tournament though. It kind of was similar to what they did at I can't remember if they were WCW or if they were actually still just flat out NWA back then. But they had a Starrcade pay-per-view where it was kind of similar, where they had the tag teams and then the singles, where, you know, depending how you won a match or how the match was ended, you got certain types of points for how the victory or final result went. And I think that's almost similar to what they were trying to do, only they got more competitors
That's fine.
infused in it.
That's fine and dandy, except for the problem that I'm not a fan of round robin. I never have been.
Yeah.
It's not a round robin tournament though. They're all gonna fight each competitor one time.
But isn't that kind of what a round robin
that is what a round robin
is? Oh, sorry. Okay, my bad.
I used to have to play them all the time when I competed in billiards.
Yeah, and that's similar what we used to do in when I was bowling on the regional professional bowlers tour.
Yeah.
You know, we had to do similar round robin style depending on the type of tournament it was.
I don't know. It's just always been an annoying style for me, but I didn't see anything really negative.
Yeah, I don't either. I will say, though, the one thing that I am a little confused, why don't we talk a little bit about that tournament to start off with our show today? I'm a little weirded out because I thought Eddie Kingston was supposed to be defending his championships during each match of this tournament. Did I understand that wrong, Carlos? Or
you did? Yeah, you understood it wrong.
Okay, because I thought the way he worded it at the Full Gear pay-per-view was he was defending it in each match, but I guess that wasn't the case. Is it the titles up like at the final part of the tournament?
Yeah. So whoever wins the tournament it's gonna be, I think it's supposed to be a unified title. It's gonna be whatever. It's gonna be the Continental Classic winner, but it's gonna be that title combined with the Ring of Honor title, combined with the New Japan Strong title all together.
Wow. So that's really going to be interesting. So that's going to be something that really, after seeing Collision last night, Kingston has lost his first 2 matches. He has no points. He's got 3 matches left to make sure he gets a pin.
4 matches. Oh yeah, 3 matches. You're right. Yeah, 3.
Yeah, he's only got 3 matches, and he's got to win them all to even have a chance.
I think you're going to see it, though.
So my question is, we'll start with Carlos. Do you think Eddie Kingston's going to win the next 3? And,
yeah,
and based off the opponents he has coming up too.
Yeah, because he has Andrade, right? Andrade, Claudio, and Daniel Garcia. I think he will. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually with Carlos on this one. I really do think Eddie's going to make the comeback on it.
So here's one that kind of opened my eyes wide after seeing the first match last night. I think it was the first match. Brody King gets the victory over Claudio.
Yeah, he smashed him.
Yeah, I mean he's perfect so far. He's 6 points into the thing, and he's still got 3 more to go.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you guys Carlos, where do you see Brody King maybe ending up? Do you think he will end up in that final bit?
He could. So here's the thing. So again, let me ask you guys this question before we get into this more. Do you guys do you guys like all the competitors that are in the match, or would you like to see other people in the match? Let's start from there.
Well, we already kind of understand Will's thoughts, but why don't you go ahead and reiterate it, Will?
Well, my one thing that I wish, again, because with Will's kind of thoughts too, is I just wish there would have been somebody from the Don Callis family in the tournament, because they've been given so much TV time. Like, to me, like to me, it should have been the 12 biggest. I mean, again, it's kind of hard, but to me, someone from the Don Callis family should have been in there, because now it seems like his storyline's dead. You know, they were on Rampage, but again, you put so much television time into this, and now they're not even on TV anymore. Like, to me, they should have been on there. You know, I would have put Kenny Omega in there. I would have put Ricky Starks in there too, because again, he was so much on Collision, and now he's just like an afterthought too. I just wish they would have had. I just wish we would have had like 12. To me, the 12 biggest singles competitors you got. But I get that you're trying to make new stars too. What are your guys' thoughts about that? And then I'll give you my thoughts on Brody King.
Well, why don't we get Will's final thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I don't have a problem with any of the wrestlers that are in there. I actually agree with Carlos. I think there should have been actually more, but I don't think it should have been crunched in such a small amount of time, because now you're taking up 60% of your programming just focusing on one thing.
Well, and did we really need all members of the Blackpool Combat Club in the tournament?
No. Minus really. That's what I'm saying. Like, to me, like, I get, again, they're trying to go back to basics, trying to get the ratings there. Like, having Moxley on Dynamite every week's good, but at the same time, like, let other guys cook too. Like Swerve, like, people are really behind Swerve. He would have been enough in there. I don't want to see Moxley win this tournament. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Danielson, but I don't want to see Danielson just being the ROH New Japan Strong. You know, I want to see him be AEW champion before he retires. You know, if he doesn't want it, he's earned it. But yeah, it's just, and again, Jay Lethal, again, to me, like, so back to me, if this leads to bigger things. So again, if this leads to Brody King being a single star, maybe he's going after, he's going after the TNT title, because I do think Brody King is a big star. I like the tag team of Malachi Black and Buddy Matthews. At the same time, like, I think that I want to see Malachi in singles too. I like the match with them with that TR, but at the same time, it's like they have so many other tag teams that they could be building up. And so for me, here's the thing I want to see. Like, that's to me, like, so it depends on how Tony Khan, what they do with all this stuff. Like, so if Brody King is a single star after this, I want to see that. I want to see Daniel Garcia join the Blackpool Combat Club and be Danielson's protege out of this. And then I want to see Jay Lethal dump Jeff Jarrett and be more serious. Like, I love their tandem, but if we get those things out of this, if we get those things happening out of this, I'd be okay with that. But there needs to be a reason why these guys are in this tournament.
Exactly. And this is a tournament where I think we need to have the stars who haven't had a real big push or have been in a real big spotlight be in this tournament. Kind of like similar how NXT has their, what do they call their tournament? The Outbreak Star or whatever.
Yeah, like the fact that you put Ethan Page on Ring of Honor, and again, I love Ethan Page, and for me, like, he should be in this tournament because it's the Ring of Honor title with New Japan Strong. So why is he in this tournament? Like, to me, like, and that's the thing too, like, the whoever wins, they should be on Ring of Honor. If you're trying to get that, it shouldn't be somebody that's going to just be on AEW Dynamite. They need to have the Ring of Honor champion on Ring of Honor. And so that's another thing too. As much as I want to see Swerve win this, it's like, I don't really want him to be regulated in Ring of Honor. I just don't think that's the right move for him. He needs to be the AEW World Champion. But again, I'm glad he's in the tournament. But at the same time, is him winning this really the right move? Because to me, I'd have him going after the AEW World title.
And who knows? Well, this going to actually be a championship belt, or is this just kind of like one of those classic cut championships?
I think it is a championship belt, because if you look at when they're coming to the ring, the new title is covered up.
Okay.
So I think it's gonna have. I think it's gonna have a different. I don't know if it's gonna have a different name because I guess there's a title in New Japan that's kind of like the same. It's the same combined champion. But the thing that I would tell people too is if you're looking at this, realize how much New Japan and AEW are in bed together. And that's not a bad thing, but don't be surprised when you see Will Ospreay sign with AEW or whatever, or Jay White, because they still get to wrestle for New Japan too. So it's like I think it's a smart business move. Tony Khan has the money, keep New Japan stars, and they get to utilize New Japan too. To me, it's like a win-win, you know. So I think it just goes to show, you know, how much of a good relationship these guys have. And to me, it's just like I said, it's going to depend to me what we see after this, you know, because I would assume that this, to me, it's almost going to be like a world champion that goes to all these different independent wrestling shows and it helps do their promotions, because that's kind of like what New Japan Strong is right now. You see them with all these different federations and stuff like that. So, and again, they got Tony Khan's blessing to do this. So I'm just, you know, the old, you know, thing, let it play out, but that's what we got to see. We got to see how it plays out. You know, I feel like I get what Will's saying, you know, it is a little redundant, you know, and again, when they have such a big roster, all these guys that are missing TV time, but again, we need to see what they do. We need to see what they do with it afterwards, you know, because I think they're just trying to show that they're getting back to the good wrestling, featuring guys that we want to see, but at the same time, they could have easily put 3 of these matches on Max, you know, and that could have been their introduction into Max every week, you know, was to have some of this, you know, air just on Max, you know, and I would offer that then. But again, it is what it is, you know, we're being, you know, it's fun to nitpick at these points, but I think it's a smart move. But again, it's just going to be how it plays out. Like, I'm not really, to me, yeah, we'll just see. We got to see what they do with the what's the right word I'm looking for? With the goodwill they're building up, you know, how they spend this money after they get it. You guys still there?
Yeah, sorry.
He did it again.
Jesus.
I'm having a hard time focusing today. I'm so sorry, everyone. Carlos's thoughts are just kind of mind blowing today.
We're putting you to sleep. Okay, that's great.
Oh no, it's not putting me asleep. I just got a lot going on.
It's more of a provocative thing.
So yeah, the biggest thing, and I think you've already mentioned this, is I just don't see a need why the Ring of Honor World Championship and the New Japan Strong Championship need to be awarded to the winner of the tournament either. So I mean, you might as well just say you're trying to unify the title, but
I think that's what they're doing. They are unifying them.
Yeah. So if they are, that's just kind of one. I think, I don't know. Do you feel like that showing that maybe Ring of Honor is not going to be existing as a label anymore?
I don't know, because I've heard rumors that he's trying to get them a TV deal again. So who knows? I personally, I feel like he needs to. And again, there's all this stuff going to Warner Bros. Discovery. That's another thing we could talk about too. The rumors of WWE going there. I don't mean, but again, I feel like for me, if he wants to make it viable, he needs to just have divided rosters. He needs to stick to them. You know, like we saw on Rampage, the Workhorsemen were on there, and again, I love the Workhorsemen. But again, there should have been. But if somebody who doesn't watch Ring of Honor, how are they going to know who the fuck these guys are? You know, just like Willie Mack's challenging Wardlow. Who's Willie Mack? You know, it's like I know who they are, but it's just they're not feeding into casuals, and maybe they're not trying to build into those guys. But at the same time, like there's a lot of people that watch AEW that aren't watching the Ring of Honor product. So if you want to do it, stick to it and have different rosters. But like quit like muddying the waters, because again, it doesn't make any sense of why these are on TV if they haven't been on AEW television. It's just so if he wants to make it a viable thing, he needs to really have a divided roster and stick to it. And like I've already said on our podcast before, I would just have Ring of Honor guys that could show up on Collision, and that's it, and not keep them off of Dynamite because they tape both shows the same day anyways.
Well, what they need to do is, well, you know, they got to tape the shows, but either put Ring of Honor as either Friday or your Saturday program, but also promote that Ring of Honor club too. You know, I mean, Judas Priest, you got an existing network that doesn't have any notice to it other than, you know, the very rare hardcore wrestling fan.
you know, and Tony Khan's actions speak to me too, because, you know, it's like this. And again, their next pay-per-view is going to be exclusively on Honor Club, and it's supposed to be next week, and they barely announced the first match this week. Athena and Billy Starks, and then Keith Lee and what's his name?
Shane Taylor.
Yeah, Shane Taylor. But it's like you haven't announced the world title match, the tag team match, and it's like, so I know it, and I know as a fan, I feel like it's because it's not going to be on pay-per-view, it's only going to be on Ring of Honor, so he's only putting half the effort into it, and so it's like he's already showing by his actions that he don't give a fuck about this. I mean, it's like he does, but he doesn't. But it's like, so you're putting half-ass effort into it because you're not going to really make any money on it, and it's going to be on Honor Club. Like your actions are speaking about what you really feel about this product.
All right. So why don't we go ahead and move on to our next subject, which I know you wanted to talk about. Britt Baker's a little upset with her promo time. She threw out a tweet out there saying MJF got 7 minutes, Christian got 10 minutes, and I got 0 minutes. So, Carlos, I know this is going to be your bad boy here. Why don't you go off and throw your tangent out there?
Well, I just want to know if you guys think it's a work or you think it's real.
I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I can't remember the last time Britt had a promo this year, and
she hasn't, just backstage ones. That's it.
Yeah. So, I mean, that should tell you right there if that's who the face of your women's division is saying that out loud, or one time the face of your women's division. You got a problem, and you better start listening to that outcry right now, because we've mentioned this many a times. Everybody seems to have a better women's division but AEW, but yet AEW has the women talent. I'm trying to make sense of this. I mean, it's kind of sad to say this, but when I watched the women of wrestling the last couple of weekends, they put on some pretty good shit there, man. I mean, this is stuff maybe Tony should be taking a look at. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you were drinking some water there.
No, you're fine.
But I mean, yeah, he needs a team that can get that division going. There's no reason why this women's division should be tanking whatsoever. We've already lost focus with the hot potato of the AEW Women's World Title. They've made the TBS Championship more relevant than the world title, and that should not be happening.
Oh, you want me to comment?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't have a whole lot to say that's any different than what you guys said. At this point, it's coming off as misogynistic to me, so I've just kind of had it.
I mean, it just seems like the only reason he puts a women match on there is for to have an obligatory match.
Yeah.
That's it. And that's not how your women's talent should be ever treated.
No.
For me, so here's my thoughts about this. So for me, if this part, like, again, because I'm like, is it like, for me, I'm like, is this if she's part of if she's the devil, or she's with that group, and this is leading to a heel turn, then I'm okay with it. But if it's not, then I'm really disappointed in Britt, because I get her frustrations. But at the same time, like, she should have been. I feel like she took a backseat for other people to get things, and if this is her true self, then she should have been Charlotte Flair in it this whole time. She should have just had the title, because I mean, she's one of the pillars, and so it's like, to me, like, she's the fifth pillar they always talk about, so to me, it's like, if that's how you feel, then quit. Don't be fake nice. And I've already told you guys that I kind of thought she was kind of a bitch, because when I met her in person, she just came off kind of bitchy to me, but she was kind of busy. But at the same time, you don't do a charity event if you don't want to be bothered, so, but at the same time, so I feel like, just be yourself, and to me, I'm disappointed in her, because I feel like she's been given the most out of any woman. Like, there's times where she could have put other people over and she didn't. I feel like she's had carte blanche in this company, and now because she's not getting away, she's throwing a fit. I mean, I guess she learned from CM Punk, she learned from Phil, her, but I just to me, I hope it's storyline, because if it's not, I want better out of her. And again, she needs to remember too, she's able to do her practice. I'm sure Tony works with her for their schedule. You know, I just, you know, giving your friend time to shine, you know, because she was with Jamie and talking about how she wanted to see her get her shine all this time. Now it just all seems very fake to me. And so again, just be your true self. And again, because, and especially in a company like AEW where the fans are so tuned in to everything online, if you're a bitch, be a bitch, you know, and if you want to be on the spotlight, fight more. Because again, if she's fighting for what if she has Tony Khan's ear, which it seems like she does. If you watch everything in that AE All Access, utilize that to get her better position for all the women, not just yourself. And yeah, and I think the women's division is like, it's hit and miss. Like with you guys, like I think Tony Storm has one of the best storylines going on in TV, but he just needs to build better feuds for these women. And it's not like, oh, win a match on Rampage, get a title match, you know, and it's like, it's just, they're trying, but they're trying to make it happen too quick, and they need to give these women more matches. And that's where I get Williams' frustrations about this tournament. Because again, give me two women's matches, you know. And they were talking about Collision yesterday, which was stupid. Because how are you going to have a bonus match because you have too much TV time? Then you're going to have a match where you're threatening to run out of TV time. So that was like an oxymoron. But again, if you're gonna have a bonus match, why couldn't it have been a women's match? You know, so. And then again, too, you see a lot. Where do you see a lot of women's matches? Ring of Honor, you know. And so it just goes to show how he values this women's division. And again, if he doesn't feel that way, give one of your shows to Collision, because the big thing is I don't want to see is let someone else run Collision, let them put 2 women's matches on there, and let the fans support it, and let us put our money where our mouth is, you know. And let the fans book it, you know, instead of just thinking that you're always right, you know. Don't be Billy Corgan.
Yeah, please don't be Billy Corgan ever, especially, you know, screwing up what could have been potentially a really great TV deal.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I might have met a different Britt Baker back then on the Chris Jericho cruise, because she kind of seemed a total 180. But also back then, she was also the AEW Women's World Champion. So back when the title was being a little more relevant. Let's talk a little more now on the return of CM Punk.
Yeah.
Let's have Carlos start with this one.
So, and again, the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because, and again, the thing about pro wrestling is like you have the right to feel how you feel. And again, the fact that the rest of my team is they're done with CM Punk, I respect that. But at the same time, I wanted to talk about this because I wanted to let wrestling fans know that if you're excited about this or you want to see what's going on, there's nothing wrong with that either, because that's the camp that I'm on. When this topic first got brought up, my tag team partner, our other co-host Bryan, he put a tweet out there, and he's like, "What do you feel about this?" And I commented like, "This to me is Triple H's Ultimate Warrior." And he was like, "Well, I want to know more about that." And so what I mean about that, you could say Triple H's Ultimate Warrior, or his Bruno Sammartino, his Bret the Hitman Hart. But there's been a lot of times where Vince McMahon, you know, had to, you know, swallow his pride and had to, and he gave other people chances and brought them back because it was what's best for business. And again, I think that CM Punk is money. I mean, you cannot deny that when the man talks, people aren't interested. I mean, I went down the CM Punk rabbit hole. I was listening to all these different podcasts and everything else this week because I was just trying to see different people's perspectives and stuff like that, and I wanted to see what was going on. And again, it was exciting for me. You know, I turned off the TV right before it even happened because I was at my hotel. We just got done from my grandma's party. I was behind on wrestling, so I saw the comments, you know, and then I was gonna watch Collision, and then I turned on X, went into our group chat, and there Brian had posted a thing with CM Punk. What the fuck is this? And I'm like, I thought he had made it, you know, and I'm like, oh my, you got to be kidding me. So I turned off before it even happened. And they're like, holy shit, you know, hell really froze over. So to me, and so again, I'm jumping back and forth. So to me, it was just like they get us all by surprise. If you listen to comments, CM Punk one time made a comment to Triple H that Triple H wasn't worthy of fighting him in a main event on WrestleMania. So true to say, so again, there was a lot of animosity. But I think this was Triple H and Nick Khan's chance to show people that they'll do what's best for business. And I think that CM Punk has tried on his tires still. and I'm excited to see what he does, you know. And the thing for me is I blame AEW and Tony Khan just as much or even more for how CM Punk happened. You can't put a drug addict in a room full of drugs and then be mad because they used. Like you're asking for a tremendous amount of willpower. And for me, like giving CM Punk that much power and stuff like that just was a crazy thing for them. But also for me too, I want, like I was talking about before with my struggles with addiction, how much grace I've been given and second chances and just peace. And I want to see that for CM Punk. So I mean, and again, I hope if him coming back, he can let go of some of those anger issues and can let go some of all the hurt that WWE caused him. If this can bring him peace, then I want to see that for the guy. But also too, I just think there's money in him being everything I want to see him being a part-time, you know, main eventer, taking spots from other talent. I want to see him being everything he used to despise. I think there's money in that, and I want to see it. And again, kudos for Triple H for again doing what's best for business and showing people that he can do what Vince McMahon did, and that's put animosity aside and do business and make money. So again, I think it's the right move.
And we apologize for that background noise. Apparently, we had a emergency vehicle go right down our street.
Those are just our alarm clocks. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Pacemaker when CM Punk came on. My heart.
No, we really did just have an emergency vehicle go down our road. So apparently I can still hear him. Can you? No,
I don't hear it, to be honest.
Well, I was looking at Will, but apparently I must have been the only one that heard him.
No, I heard them before. It's just
okay. So
they're not still going.
No, look, and I know I've kind of been a little hard with my opinion on the return of CM Punk. Look, good for Punk. I mean, I don't hate him. I don't have any animosity. I'm not like a lot of these IWC guys that are going out calling him, "Oh, you hypocrite," or, you know, "I can't believe he did this," and yet here it is. He said this on AEW. You know what? Get over it. Look, wrestlers got to take care of themselves and their families, and if they can find work and secure a deal, good for them. I'm not going to hold anything against them for trying to keep themselves employed. For me, Punk's just kind of lost his luster to have my attention. Again, nothing personal on Punk. Too many burned out opportunities, and I just lost all interest. Now, if he can gain my interest, that even better, you know. How do you feel, Will? I know you were a little upset AEW canned him because you felt like they should have kept him.
Here's my standpoint. First and foremost, everybody knows that's talked to me. I do not like CM Punk. I never have. I didn't like him since ECW. Okay, cool. Went over to AEW, did some things, got in trouble. He was starting to do better, so he was starting to catch my interest, and then bam, gone. Okay, fine. I don't have any ill will towards him, and I'm fine with him being in WWE. The thing that I hope is that he does better, that he does sell the shows, but that he builds it and doesn't just get handed a title right off the bat.
Yeah,
I don't want to see that shit.
That was my only frustration with AEW. He only went nine wins.
Yeah,
first 9 matches, and he's number one contender and wins the championship. I'm just sitting there thinking,
yeah. As far as my personal interest in him, it's not likely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that my opinion is 100% right, or anybody has to agree to feel it. It's just my opinion.
I would call it a preference.
I don't have any care what CM Punk does. Whatever he does, CM Punk, you do you, I'll do me. That's just where I'm at with it, you know. And it, like I said, it's not any hate toward Punk. That's where I'm at with it.
And I also hope it doesn't crunch other superstars.
Right. And time will tell.
Yeah.
I mean, WWE, I will say this, does have structure unlike AEW. So obviously there's going to be some rules he needs to follow and make sure he obeys. And so far, so good right now. What will happen in 6 to 12 months later, who knows?
Yeah.
We just hope it pans out better than what it has for him recently. So,
Wow.
So does the match with him and Stone Cold Steve Austin interest you at WrestleMania?
at this very moment, no.
No.
No, and again, it's not hate toward Punk. He's got to build that interest back for me again. That's just where I'm at with him.
Ooh, you know who I want to see go after Stone Cold?
Who's that?
L.A. Knight. No, I think that would be a killer match. Those two characters clashing.
I don't know.
But think about CM Punk with the promos about Austin's drinking beer. I mean, straight edge. Oh man, I mean, I'm like, I mean, it could get interesting real quick. But I think Punk would have to be a heel.
Well, didn't they try? Well, they didn't really tease a match, but they had like a little backstage promo with Punk.
Yeah, when they were promoting the video game years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, why don't we go ahead and move on to the next little bit there. For those who didn't watch Friday Night SmackDown, sorry, we're spoiling it, but Randy Orton does end up signing with the Blue Brand as of Friday night. But we got an even better present with that. He gave our Nick Aldis the RKO, baby. And he gave Jey Uso the RKO, and Jey Uso, or not Jey,
Oh my God.
Jimmy Uso sold that. Did you see the clips from the fans on the internet?
Who else doesn't John Cena do that too? Or CM Punk does it too, I think. CM Punk did it too. Remember in AEW, he did the same thing.
Oh, I don't remember. I just know Jimmy played it really well when they were taking off the mat cover.
Oh yeah.
And you had one of the ring guys holding Jimmy Uso until they got the cover off, and then they rolled Jimmy back in the ring. It was just fantastic sell job by Jimmy. But what's your thoughts on that, Carlos? I know you had a lot of interesting things with Randy Orton signing with the Blue Brand.
Daddy, can we call him Daddy, please?
Daddy. Well, you can. We won't.
Daddy Orton. God, that's such a nice ring to it. The thing I loved about this is, again, I've talked about this on the podcast before, is I've always loved the SmackDown brand more than Raw. And so to me, like, seeing them kind of get the brand that gets chosen for once instead of Raw. I mean, we've all seen Survivor Series. SmackDown never even comes close to beating Raw. So I'm really glad he's with SmackDown. I think, and again, they made me mad when Adam Pearce like, he's Mr. Raw. No, he's Mr. SmackDown. He was always put on the blue brand because John Cena was on the red brand. And so to me, I like this. I think for me, it's foreshadowing something. And so, I mean, and again, here's two different thoughts. I think it's foreshadowing, again, either to this, I think, and again, let's just open the box again, rip off the Band-Aid. So I think it's foreshadowing to Cody eventually win the title, and Cody's going to challenge Randy Randy will challenge Cody for the title. So I think you're getting things aligned with that. But let's say The Rock's coming in for WrestleMania, and again talking about Austin and Punk, I would utilize that match to get The Rock back, to try to push him one more time to come back. To me, the thing I would do is if I was WWE, and again, just for storyline reasons, again, Nick Aldis got Randy Orton to come to SmackDown. What did he have to promise Randy in order to get this? I would have this be Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns for the title, either in Hell in the Cell at Royal Rumble, or Randy gets a stipulation to where if anyone interferes, or if Reigns gets disqualified, or if anyone interferes, he automatically becomes the world champion. I think like Randy getting some kind of stipulation to where he gets the title, and then maybe that causes Roman to eventually leave SmackDown and go back to Raw. But again, if they got the title off of Roman at Royal Rumble, and then we got Cody versus Randy at WrestleMania, and we got Roman versus The Rock, And then we got Austin versus CM Punk, and then we got Seth Rollins versus Gunther or versus. I wouldn't be mad about it. Let me tell you, we'd be eating good as fans. So I just kind of want to get your guys' thoughts on all that I just split out.
Yeah, I really don't have a whole lot.
Really?
I don't. Like, honestly, with Randy Orton's return and him being on SmackDown, it doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't matter where he's at. He's one of my favorite guys of all time. I wasn't a big fan of his father, but Randy has had an excellent career, minus the first couple of years that he wrestled.
Or the first few years where he was a dickhead backstage.
Yeah, he just didn't care. So
yeah. No, I was kind of interested seeing what they were going to do with CM Punk and Randy Orton returning, because obviously the draft happened shortly before Randy was taken out, or shortly after Randy was taken out. And then CM Punk obviously came in, returned at Survivor Series. So he's not really particularly assigned to a brand yet. But while we talk about Orton going to the blue brand, I feel Carlos is right. Randy Orton's been more of a character of the blue brand than anything. The only thing though is Cena was actually a good trade of the blue brand until they kind of had him up it up a little bit and then moved him to Raw. But to Carlos's point, I think the offer was good to have him sign, because he's pretty much going right to the front of the line, getting a shot at Roman Reigns. So I think it'll be an interesting match. I love the stipulations Carlos is throwing in there. However, I just don't think Randy Orton's going to be the one that dethrones him. I still think we're going to have it be somebody who's up and coming, and I don't know. It could still be Cody Rhodes. I'm kind of thinking that's the direction they're going after the last couple of times they've had Cody around the blue brand. It's a good teaser, but I'm still not sure they're dead set on that yet. The only other person I would think could make any sense would be LA Knight, but they just had him lose to Roman recently, but he's still feuding with the Bloodline. So what do you think? Maybe a possible chance there could be a triple threat somewhere in there. Why don't we start with Carlos?
Between who?
It would be a triple threat with LA Knight, Randy Orton, and Roman Reigns. Because we haven't had a triple threat with Roman yet, have we?
Yeah, so Edge and Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania.
That was a triple threat?
Yeah, when he stacked them and pinned them.
I thought that was a one-on-one with Edge.
No, it was Edge, Daniel Bryan, and Roman Reigns.
Oh shit! That shows you how good my memory's been.
Jesus Christ!
Oh, it's just William.
And he stacked. Remember, Roman stacked them on top of each other and pinned them. It was awful.
I don't remember that part. I have to go back and watch now. So yeah, I guess that's the last time Roman's been in any multi-competitor match.
I don't want to again to answer. I don't want again for me like. I want to see what I say. I like what I like, and again I have to give credit to Busted Open, because I was listening to Mark Henry talk about this, and he was talking about Roman Reigns' pedigree. I mean, about Randy Orton's pedigree, and Randy could be why couldn't Randy be the guy to dethrone Roman? And I was like, right on. I'm like, let's jump on this train, And so for me, like, and again for me, and then just the whole thing with Nick Aldis getting Randy, and then creating this, maybe this brings the bloodline. I would just like to see this help everything kind of escalate. Like, again, Nick Aldis, him promising Randy a title shot with any stipulation. I think that's a good way to get the title off of Roman, and it still keeps face. And again, then you could have Roman versus Rock at WrestleMania for no title if they could get him, and then you could have Randy Orton versus Cody for the title. And again, I want to see someone in WWE break Ric Flair's record, even though AEW is claiming that there's 21 titles now. I'm going to go by the WWE number of 16. And again, for me, I want to see either Randy or John Cena break that number. So again, giving Randy a short reign to where he gets another notch in the belt, I wouldn't mind that. And again, the guy fought hard to come back, and he's a Triple H guy, so I could see it happening. But I don't think a triple threat match makes sense for him because I think he would want a one-on-one match. I think we see LA Knight feuding with Solo Sequoia is what I think.
Well, yeah, I mean that's going to be evident no matter what because he's trying to take out each member of the bloodline.
Yeah.
I still think though the right path would be to have LA Knight win the United States Championship off Logan Paul. But who knows if that will even be happening because of that new tournament we now got coming up. And speaking of which, there's supposed to be an NXT competitor coming into that tournament. For many of you who watched and heard that announcement, Carlos, do you have any predictions who that NXT talent could be?
Again, I'm hoping that it's Tyler Bate, and I'm hoping that it's Tyler Bate, and then I'm hoping that because if you're watching SmackDown, Ridge Holland he abandoned Butch, and so I'd love to have Tyler Bate come on board and have him become a member of the Brawling Brutes, and then to help Butch along to fight Pretty Deadly. That's what I want to see.
You have a prediction?
No, I don't.
No.
Jeez.
Wow. He's very short today.
Mr. NXT, man. He's Mr. NXT. Come
on. I could see probably 3 different people that could be stepping up. One could be Tyler Bate, but let's not also forget we have Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes who will probably be looking to be moving up here shortly. So there's 2 more possibilities I think could be very viable entrants.
The only other one would be Ilya.
I think,
but he's a champion. I don't think you bring him into. I don't think you bring the champion in a tournament to lose.
No, I'm just saying that would be the only other obvious choice.
But I just don't think Ilya is going to be dropping that championship, especially to Baron Corbin anytime soon. No. So,
and I mean, to me, Wesley is going to be fighting. He's going to beat Dominic for the North American title. So I wouldn't have him go in there and take a loss. Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
What?
Wesley probably going to take the title off Dominic.
I mean, I love me some Dominic, but at the same time, I love me some Wesley too. I think it's time. I think Wesley. I want to see Wesley eventually become the NXT champion. I think he's the guy to carry the brand for the next year or so. I'm okay with it. I mean, if they keep it on Dominic, I'm not going to be. I mean, either way, I'm going to be happy. They're both my little boys. They're both guys that I like. So, but I think Dominic's I think he's done everything he can in NXT. But I also think him losing kind of helps with the friction of the Judgment Day. I'm okay with it. I mean, again, because I think I love Wesley. Again, somebody who was given a bad hand when his partner got kicked off, and he was kind of an influx, and then he made the most of it, and now he's under Chad Frost's arm, and he's really excelling. That's somebody I'm always going to root for. So again, I want to see that man. I want to see him get all the success because he deserves it, and he made the most out of a shit sandwich, So I root for that man.
Shit sandwich, huh? You're not going to use the proper Conrad term and say, turn chicken shit into chicken salad or something like that.
Whatever.
All right.
I'm using my Estrada terms.
Okay. Well, anyways, we're getting pretty close to our time limit here, but you guys have any final thoughts for this week? Why don't we start with Carlos?
What do you guys have any thoughts about Ric Flair and his promo and they got cut off? Do you think Tony Khan should just cut his ties with them, or do you guys think it's all being overblown?
Don't care, overblown. I think too many people are being a little
like fake rage.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
I want him gone because I feel like Tony Khan's horn AEW out for Ric Flair, because every time I look up, I see those fucking energy things on the China.
That's what did it for me too, Carlos.
And I'm like, so you're whoring out your company for somebody no one else even wants. So you're whoring out your company for somebody that nobody even wants here. Just let him go, because it's like they're having to give way too much for this money, and Tony Khan doesn't need the money. It's just time. You tried it. It didn't work out. It's time to move on. Period.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way. And it was that woo energy freaking sign that you keep on seeing every time you look up. Stop.
I'm
Yes.
like, stop it
Stop.
already. You're
So
hoarding yourselves out too much for somebody that nobody wants around. It's time to cut your ties.
So does he have a real energy drink out? I never noticed.
He does. So that's it's called Woo Energy Drink. It's the second one. It's the second one he's had. And they're the ones. So they signed a deal with AEW, and pretty much the money from that drink is paying for Ric Flair's contract. But it's not worth it. It's not. He's not adding any value. And again, they're having to give way too much because it's literally on the whole time that there's not someone else. They're not playing someone's music. It's just they're giving up way too much for something that nobody wants anyway. So it's just time to move on.
Yeah, could have spent that TV time with Britt Baker.
Oh,
Dun, dun, dun.
oh, well, Will throws in a jab there.
Why not?
Well,
And again, he just read the room, dude. No, it's like just actor. I mean, he's Ric Flair, I get it, but you're a possible rapist that everyone's heard these stories, and it's like nobody wants. And again, women, it's just like you're alienating your crowd. I mean, like Kate from Fightful, I love what she says about it because it's the truth, and it's like it's just creepy. And thank God they edited it out. You know, it wasn't tape, but that's not always going to be the case. And I just feel like it's making Sting look bad too, and I just don't think Sting needs that. Sting should just be with Darby. He doesn't need Ric Flair possibly adding any kind of darkness to his last run here. So again, like I said, it's just he's giving away way too much real estate for something nobody wants, and it's just time to move on. Thank you, but no thank you.
all right. Well, do you have any final thoughts, Will?
No.
All right. So why don't we get right into our shout outs for the week? Will, any shout outs? No.
Pretty much just to our listeners and our fans. I mean, we really wouldn't be anywhere without you guys.
Carlos?
Just again a shout out to that nasty Leroy and to Chris Haas who are usually on the show supporting. Again, thank you to you and Brian for covering for us. We wish Heather, speedy recovery. Hopefully things get done. But just a shout out to the sports affiliates, to all my group chats that I'm in. Thank you guys for supporting us. Again, shout out to the Sage Network, Jonesing, Rip and Tip, all the guys, all the people that are in Sage Network. Just thank you guys for your continued support. We're proud to be part of you guys. And again, shout out to TJ Wibbs, our favorite D-list actor. And again, he has a thing on YouTube. Check him out. But again, just everyone who supports, just thank you. Again, you guys make this a positive environment for me. And I thank you guys for being part of my community.
And want to throw out a few podcast shout outs there as well, who always throws their support for us. Fan in the Van. Is This a Bad Take podcast? The Steel and Teal Talk. Two Dudes Sports News, Wrestling World with Austin Boyer, Visit Vegas Places with Coyle, Chris and Deb from Today We Laughed and Learned, and also our great and favorite friend, Ted the Hillbilly Hill, who has the Hill Truth. Go check him out on your favorite audio listening platform, but also more importantly, go check out his YouTube channel where he does quite a few shorts on there.
Subscribe to his YouTube channel, and if you aren't subscribed to ours, subscribe to ours too.
Yes, and you can also follow us on YouTube at Wrestling Fans Insight. Also, follow our other co-host Brian Ballard. He hosts the Tap Out Talk, where he does multiple things, whether it's a premium live event or a pay-per-view. He gives his reviews there. He does a few open box videos of whatever wrestling crates he gets. But also check us out on Twitch at the Fans of Pro Wrestling. Carlos and I are both on Instagram. You can find me at the Fans of Pro Wrestling. Carlos, you can find him on Rainbow Goodness _. Also on TikTok, not TikTok. Jesus. John WF.
Show your age, John. Show your age.
I am. Jesus. Also, check out my wife, Sarah, who's more active on it than ever, at Sarah K. Hoppe. And more importantly, we're all on the X app. William, you want to give yours?
At William Hoppe 8.
Carlos?
At C to the LOS 77, and also at Conquer the Gnome.
And you can follow Brian the Hype Ballard there at the Brian Adkins. And you can also find me, John, there at WF Insight Podcast. And more importantly, feel free to go check out our Facebook group under the group called The Fans of Pro Wrestling. And be sure to check out our two websites, thefansofprowrestling.com and www.wrestlingfansinsight.com. And that's going to wrap it up for us on Sunday. Carlos, we will be back again. Which day? Tuesday, you said?
Tuesday, yeah.
Okay, we will be back Tuesday. Did you say 8:30 or sorry, would be 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, right? Or no, shit.
10.
Sorry, I'm really getting my times fucked up today.
Buddy.
Fuck everything. No.
Just join. We'll just do it after NXT's over. So
Okay,
we'll say
all right.
we'll say 10:15. When as soon as NXT ends, we'll be on the air.
Okay, sounds good. So be sure
All
to
right.
check Carlos on the X Space app, but we'll also hopefully be live on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube as well. So without any further ado, we hope you all have a good week. We'll catch you again Tuesday night. Peace out, everyone. And remember, who's better than you? Nobody.
Burr, 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 burr.